It's looking pretty tight out there, assistant manager. What do you think?
Courtney House looks like he is used to playing a more direct game than he is being asked to play.
What? What are you talking about? What am I supposed to do? Can you be a little bit clearer?
Matt Grimes looks like he is used to playing at a higher tempo than he is being asked to play.
This is hopeless. Finish your sentences, man. What on earth do you mean? What am I supposed to do about that? Let's go and figure this out. Hello and welcome back to FM22 with Old Man Phil. And if you are new to the channel, then why not? Subscribe, watch, like and comment. Help the channel to grow and help us to support the very worthwhile cause that you can see scrolling above. And today we are going to be looking at that old chestnut, the assistant manager, useless or not. And I so often hear people in forums saying, oh, I don't need to listen to my assistant manager. I'm a real manager and therefore I can do it all myself. I don't need an assistant manager. Well, I need an assistant manager. And I think, let me introduce you to my assistant manager. He's Jody Morris, the ex-Chelsea midfielder. He's an aggressive little sort, but he's very media friendly, and I like him because I don't like doing press conferences. And he's fairly determined, and I do want someone who has a little level of determination to his style, because I want him working the boys really hard during training. And if I look at his attributes, I'm not really, in essence, worried too much about his coaching attributes. But what I really want is a high level of determination and discipline, so that he's going to get the best out of the players. Not really bothered about motivating or people management, because I can do that myself. I'm pretty good at that, so I'll do that myself. But where he really comes into his own is in the knowledge section at the bottom. And I don't care whether he can judge staff ability, but I do care whether he's good at judging player ability. Potential ability, I couldn't care less, whether that's low or high. I have scouts who can do that. But it's his level of tactical knowledge which I'm going to rely on more than anything else. And that's what I really need from my assistant manager, is his tactical knowledge and his judging player ability, because I want him to help me in game. And it's there where I'm more likely to listen to what he says and act upon what he says rather than anywhere else. And the question is, what is he saying? Because the things that he says to me don't seem to make any sense at all. But remember that FM22 is just a game, and therefore, as a game, it's going to be a puzzle, but it will give you clues to help work out what is happening. And unfortunately, though, those clues are not always understandable. You have to figure them out. It's not going to do it for you. And the first thing that you have to do is to understand the way that you play. We play a very defensive style, and it's really designed to try and win as much possession as we possibly can, and hope for the best that we can score a goal or two at the other end with our very fast advance forwards. And we're going to, in possession, what we do is we play with a shorter passing and lower tempo, trying to hold on to the ball and make it easier for the team to hold on to the ball. And we play fairly wide so they don't get in each other's way. In transition, we regroup and counter-press, and normally I will have a mid-block where I will set the line at standard and a lower line of engagement. But today I'm going to just push the defensive line up a little bit, because Chelsea, who is the example that we're using here, are very effective from through balls, and I want to try and minimize the damage they can do from through balls. So that was the reason for pushing the line up a little bit further than I would normally have it. Now, in terms of the result, we got a very creditable 1-1 draw, and we defensively restricted them to 5 shots on target and only 1 clear-cut chance. And that was defensively, the boys did their job. However, the big problem is with possession. And if you look at our possession numbers, you can see we only had 39% of the possession. But prior to half-time, that was even worse, when we actually only had around about 34% of the possession in the first half. And that was that caused us to being behind against Chelsea, and they scored. It was one of those things. There's nothing I could do to prevent this happening. Jorginho just unleashed a bullet into the top corner. He's got long shots of 9, and I couldn't plan for that. And we were quite rightly so a goal behind, and lucky not to be more behind. So just before half-time, I made some changes in response to some of the things that my assistant manager had been telling me. Now, the better your assistant manager, the more of these things he's going to tell you in-game. And after making the changes, we must have got a lot more possession in the second half. And eventually, Lavry went on to do even better with a daisy cutter into the corner. And we finished the game on 1-1. So it was really important that I listened to what the assistant manager had said to me. And the first thing that he was saying to me was, Courtney House looks as if he's used to playing a more direct game than he is being asked to play. And then he said he looks as if he is used to closing down more than he's being asked to do. He also said Matt Grimes looks as if he is more used to playing at a higher tempo than he is being asked to play. Now, previously, I used to think that these meant that if he wants to play a more direct game, then ask him to play a more direct game. Change his player instructions to suit what he wants to do. Get him to close down more. Matt Grimes wants to play at a higher tempo. Get him to play more direct and take more risks. But I was wrong. I'm completely misreading these. What he's actually saying is there is a problem with these players, and they are going to make a mistake soon unless you deal with it. So in terms of what he's saying you've set the team up to play in a certain way, and these two players are not playing in that way. They're playing more like they want to rather than helping the team as a whole. So knowing your team instructions now will help you to interpret that. So what he's actually saying is, if we look at what I did with Courtney House, and something that I did notice about Courtney House, in one of the highlights, he had gone absent without leave. He was way too far up the pitch, and there was a ball over the top. He was pressing up here somewhere, and there was a ball over the top, which left us a little bit exposed there. But Fisher, the goalkeeper, had managed to tidy that up just in time. So he was pressing far too much and opposing what the team instruction is, because we only play a standard press. And so I want him now to stop pressing so much. And so the instructions for him, based on what the assistant manager said, was to close down less often. And he was also playing a more direct game than I wanted him to play. So I told him to take fewer risks now. And that would mean that he'd look for a shorter pass rather than the riskier pass over the top. So that's what I did to sort that out at halftime. Matt Grimes, again, he was. I was being told that he was more used to playing at a higher tempo, and that was suggested to me that he was trying to move the ball way too quickly from back to front. And so what I had to do was to stop him doing that. And basically, because he's on shorter passing already, I just told him to take fewer risks and to look for a simpler pass than the one that you were seeking out. And if that's locked in, then you may have to change his player role, so that you can take it away. I also decided we need more possession as a team, so I made the pitch narrower, which would mean, because we are playing a shorter passing game, we now have the pitch compact both vertically and in terms of width, and hopefully our shorter passing and a lower tempo passing would hit their targets more frequently. And I also told both players, just as soon as they went back onto the pitch after halftime, I told both players to focus. In other words, play the game as the team is supposed to play, not as you are wanting to play it yourself. And we gained a great deal of possession in the second half, and to turn the possession to 39% over the entire game would have required a great deal more possession in the second half. And so if I've got my maths right, we probably won the possession battle in the second half 55% to 45% to get it up to the almost 40% overall possession. And so what happened seemed to work. And it's very, very important to know what he's actually saying. And what he's actually saying to you in-game is that these players are working against the team instructions that you have set. And that's very, very important to understand. So if you have a player who is, let's say, he looks like he's more used to playing a shorter passing game, then he's not. Then he's passing short when the team instructions are to be more direct in terms of your passing. And it's really important to know that it's really the opposite of what he's saying that you need to do. You need to get that player working more of a team player than he is currently. Because at the moment, the assistant manager has noticed that he's playing his own game and not working for the team. So if you understand how you play, you can adjust his player instructions to suit what's going on. And so, yeah, I believe that although the assistant manager does talk a lot of nonsense sometimes, some of the things can be very valuable that he says in-game. And if you act on them, then you can possibly prevent something from actually going wrong and someone making a mistake. Okay, I hope you found this video useful. And if you have any questions, then just leave them in the comments below and I will try to answer them as best I can. But the real essence is understand your tactic, how you are playing, and then when he says something, you've got to get that player acting more in line with how you want to play the game, because he's not at the moment. If you are new to the channel, then why not subscribe, like, watch and comment, and help the channel to grow, help us to support the very worthwhile cause you can see scrolling above, I mean. And that's it for this video. If you are new, then join us on our Swansea save as well, as we are doing very, very well in our first season in the Premier League. And all that remains to be said now is we'll see some of you, I hope, over in the next video.